Shalawam. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Achak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles of Israel, aka the head apostles of Great Millstone, who do rule well and teach well with sound doctrine. Shalawam to the elders and the elder bishops of Great Millstone as well. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings to all the sincere Akim Akwath who do subscribe to this truth. A hearty shalom to the men out there on the highways and byways, highways and hedges, preaching and teaching in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and risking their freedom, now more so than ever, especially in these times of what's going on, making their bodies a living sacrifice with the testimony of Yahweh Shai on the highways and byways and highways and hedges, which is the spirit of prophecy. And last but not least, a hearty shalom to the Men of Valor Camp, New Jersey, NYC, first camp I ever heard the truth from, Isaiah 62 verses 6 through 7. Those that make mention of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, keep not silence. Give him no rest day or night. To Jerusalem is a praise in all the earth. So this is Brother Ash Amath, back at it with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Lord's will, you will find this lesson edifying. Going to jump into an article that I found that goes and touches on the famine that's slowly and surely approaching on a worldwide scale, how these people are connected to it, and how it's all a part of Agenda 2030, which is Agenda 21, the same thing, just different wordage, and how that's tied to a few other things, and Lord's will, you'll find this lesson edifying, and Lord's will, you'll find this lesson comforting as well. So no further ado, no further rambling, let's get into it. So people are not starving, they are being starved. Millions at risk of famine, NGOs warn. So there's a word in here I'm not going to have on my screen just because of YouTube guidelines. Just got to move with wisdom. So, open letter backing UN call to action says pandemic exasperated problems of conflict, climate crisis, and inequality. So this is in Burkina Faso. Gonna put the image back on the screen when that word is off my screen. It's right here as well, so I need to cover it. And this is what they plan on doing to a lot of people, man. You see that baby right there? Yeah. And even though this is in the land of Ham, you still got a lot of Jakes out here spread amongst these Hamites, man. And this is what they plan to do to a lot of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. You're gonna have your kids looking like this, man. Through, times 102, man. For trusting in the serpent, man. And they're gonna give you a solution. It's called karagma, and a pandemic relocation center called a FEMA camp, where conveniently they're going to have food, but they're going to want you to do something to get in there. So let's get into this part of the article. Slack for having to take my camera off the screen several times, but due to YouTube guidelines and strikes, this is what we have to do to get videos out there going to topics like this where that word is on the screen. World leaders, I want to see if that word is in the screen right there. I'll do it at the top. World leaders are being urged to act immediately to stop multiple famines breaking out, exasperated by the pandemic. It's right there. Pandemic, and caused by conflict, climate crisis, and inequality. In an open letter published Tuesday, Slacky. In an open letter published Tuesday, oh shoot, to support, oh man, come on, Slack it. That's what we got to do though, man. Freaking E, bro, he'll take your channel down, you know, if you have that word on there. It's crazy. It's in 2 spots. But basically, this is what they're doing. I'm going to read the article, and I have the words on the screen. I'm going to leave a link to this actual article in the description. So, in an open letter published on Tuesday to support the UN call to action to avert famine in 2021, hundreds of aid organizations from around the world said people are not starving, they are being starved. Warning, what history will judge us by the actions we take today. The aid groups added that people were being starved by conflict and violence, by inequality, by the impacts of climate change, by loss of land, jobs, or prospects, by a fight against the pandemic that has left them even further behind. So were people being starved? Well, people are being starved in the land of Ham, but they're spread throughout the land of Ham. Yemen, Afghanistan, Ethiopia, Southern Sudan, you know, which is where the Philistines are, you know. You know, the ancient, you know, the ancient Egyptians, better yet, Ethiopian Sudan, you know. Burkina Faso, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Honduras, you know, that's the tribe of Zebulon, Venezuela, Asher, Nigeria, you got lots of Levites and Judites, you know, in Nigeria. Haiti, well, that's Levi, but you also got Benjamin spread throughout there as well. Central African Republic, Slovakia, Uganda, Zimbabwe, and Sudan, you know, which is where the original Egyptians are, you know. They fled, you know, to that area. Ethiopia, South Sudan, Sudan. So this is where they're starving tons of people, you know. And this is coming to Babylon, man. You're going to have kids who are, you know, all nations, you know, looking like this. Because the thing about these wicked elites is they don't care, man. They're going to come down with great wrath, and they're going to do it on everybody. And the reason why is because it's in their plans to depopulate, man, you know, one way or another, man, you know. So that's what's happening on a global front as far as the pandemic. But let's go into this video where the Ice Age farmer, and I would heavily suggest you subscribe to this guy's channel. He's constantly putting out informative videos, you know. And you know, excuse his voice, you know, he's not a, you know, the brolic sounding type. He's a little you know, he sounds a little different, put it like that, but very informative. So let's go into what he's talking about, because he does have some key information I want to get into and cover through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, of course.
Ladies and gentlemen, world leaders convened today at a virtual climate summit where Joe Biden announced new targets for the United States in curbing our carbon emissions. Among them, limiting you to 1 burger per month. That's right, dropping red meat consumption by 90%. You're only allowed to eat 4 pounds per year of red meat at that point. This also included forcing you to own an electric car from here on out, and of course installing a heat pump, getting rid of your fireplace or your any other heating for your home. All of these things, in fact, that we have discussed before when we dissected the absolute zero agenda that was published out of the UK. I'll leave a link to that long report below, and today I just want to run through briefly some of the ridiculous ways that it's rolling forward, both in the US and around the world. But not only that, John Kerry, the climate czar, has announced that it's not enough to stop carbon emissions, that in fact we need to get carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere, perhaps using, as California is proposing, giant carbon sequestration vacuum cleaners. Wow. It seems there is no depth to the stupidity of this agenda, but in fact it's not dumb. It is a bid for total control over humanity and all activity on the planet. Let's talk about it. I'm Christian, and this is the Ice Age Farmer broadcast.
You said twice getting to net zero is going to be hard, really hard. But even if we get to net zero, we still have to get carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. So this is a bigger challenge than a lot of people have sort of really grabbed onto yet.
Yeah, he actually said that. We need to get carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. Stunning hubris from these people. But California prepared to implement it nonetheless. From the LA Times, the clock is running out on climate change, and California says it's time for giant carbon vacuums, like this one seen here. As an advisor to Jerry Brown said, if you want to keep global warming at bay, you can't do it simply by limiting emissions. You have to sequester significant amounts of carbon. And at this point, we really should be asking ourselves, why is Bill Gates blocking the sun and geoengineering, and why are they trying to remove all carbon dioxide from the atmosphere? What kind of planetary terraforming are they engaging in here? But I don't have the answers to that. What I do know is that Joe Biden really did take to the stage today to unveil the new targets for the United States. Among them, as I mentioned, you'll be limited to now 1 burger a month, and that is in cutting our red meat consumption.
So you see how that year 2030 is in there? Well, that's all Agenda 2030, man. You know? Sustainable development, transforming our world, you know, the NWO, you know, them setting up the beast system, man. Let's go back into full screen mode. And Slack, let me put this down real quick. Let me turn this AC off. Shit's loud. Okay. Keep it going.
Consumption by 90% across the entire American population. Remember, these are federal mandates, federal goals. And even beyond red meat, all animal products, not just animal source food, all animal products by 50% by 2030. It also includes making the switch to electric cars. Quote, more than half of the new cars bought in the U.S. would need to be electric within the next decade. In this decade of action, it would mean 65% of all new cars and SUVs and 10% of trucks would need to be electric, and we're running at about 2% right now. So you can imagine drastic top-down measures of control must be implemented to get that target hit. And then, of course, as we've mentioned at the UK level, now in the US, retrofitting homes to use electric heat pumps so that you are tied to the grid exclusively and depend on that as a source of heat to keep your family warm in the increasingly cool winters. Quote, nearly 25% of homes by 2030, more past that, would need to be heated by electricity rather than using natural gas or oil to reach these emissions goals. So yeah, you'll be on the hook for that nice, nearly $6,000 electric heat pump. And again, I just want to be very clear that if you missed the absolute slavery report, where we broke down line by line these...
Let's see what some of this is about. So road vehicles. This is all Agenda 2030, man. You know, them taking over every single facet of society, you know, via the UN, you know, and your local, state, and federal governments, man. You know, the 17 goals. And if you go into what these goals are, they're completely diabolical, you know. And if I went into these goals, you know, they might try to take a brother's channel down. So I'm gonna play it safe, you know, make it a strike for this video. But hey, you know, it is what it is. Lord's will I don't, you know. Ahdawan Rataza, it doesn't happen.
These goals on how they're going to drop carbon emissions to zero by 2030, and then ultimately by 2050 is when they hit absolute zero. I highly encourage you to check it out, because we've gone through now the heating using electric heat pumps. Let me blow this up. Using electric heat pumps to replace gas boilers and natural gas, the changing food to stop beef and lamb eating completely, phasing that out by 2050, and then releasing only.
And why don't they phase out eating pig, shrimp, crab, lobster? They want to phase out eating lawful foods, man. They're killing off chickens, you know, by the hundreds of thousands, you know, millions, you know, who knows? They're reporting it by the hundreds of thousands, you know, but that's just in the United States. So it probably is in the millions worldwide, you know. And they want to stop consumption of beef and of lamb, you know, which are lawful foods to eat, man. You know, and these people, they're freaking diabolical, man. You know, and that's why they have to be eradicated and put down, man. Arrested, chained up, slaved, you know, have the shit beat out of them, you know, when the Lord returns, of course, you know what I'm saying? And that's why they will.
Only electric cars by 2030, or compatible with absolute zero is how they write it here. So each of the three mandates that Biden unveiled today come directly from these goals. They come directly from the prescribed agenda of the United Nations. We're not in charge.
Agenda 2030. Once again, let's blow it up. Sustainable development, you know? That's what it's all about. You know, these guys doing an absolute power grab, man. You know? And it's all starting at the national level, you know, state, local, federal. It's starting better at the top, Slakia, from these guys, and they're giving the orders and funneling those orders down to your state, local, and federal governments for them to implement step by step. You know,
of this country right now. Biden is just rolling through the agendas one by one.
Yep.
And I find it telling that in terms of trying to take control, they're happy to float absolute zero. How much freedom will you be allowed? Absolutely zero. How much?
And it's said by the people who are head of the Davos agenda, which is the financial part of the NWO / you know, Agenda 2030 agenda, the beast system agenda, you know, and that's to say that they better said that you will own nothing and you will be happy. You know, it shows you the mindset of these people, man. You know, and once again, this is why these people are going to be treated the way they are in the kingdom, man. You know, completely in subjection, man. You know, completely humbled, man. You know,
choice will we will have as a consumer? Absolutely zero. But when it comes to keeping our children safe, how much arsenic or lead will they allow to be in baby food? Well, that's called closer to zero. Yeah, when it comes to safety, they really don't care about you. This tells you everything you need to know. This is not about saving the earth. It's not about your safety. It's about taking total control. And it's for that reason that news outlets started issuing new editorial guidance, somehow all at the same time, to stop calling climate change, stop calling it global warming. We're going to rename it again. Now it's a climate emergency. And of course, if you've been listening to this channel, the Ice Age Farmer channel,
so that's pretty much it for the Ice Age Farmer. You know, he's always bringing out good news when it comes to, you know, what's going on as far as, you know, cropping, farming, so on and so forth. You know, he's pretty good, you know, when it comes to that type of information. grocery stores, so on and so forth. But let's jump into this and what's going on with these guys over here, because it's the same agenda. So sustainable development, United Nations, same logo and everything, pretty much. Let's go up here. Boom. Yep. Goals. Goals. That's what they're doing. And this is Agenda 21, 1992. Agenda 21 is a comprehensive plan of action to be taken globally, nationally, and locally by organizations of the United Nations system, governments, and major groups in every area in which humans impact on the environment. Agenda 21, the Rio Declaration of Environment and Development. Let's zoom in a little more. Yeah, it's like if it was out of focus. I'm gonna have this part play slow real quick, so if you're reading it or trying to read it, you can see what's being said. Okay, back to this part. Agenda 21, the Rio Declaration of Environment and Development and the Statement of Principles for Sustainable Management of Forests were adopted by more than 178 governments at the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development held in Rio de Janeiro, Slovakia, the 3rd to 14th of June, 1992. So it was in Brazil in 1992 where they had the conference for Agenda 21, where they basically made their plans public. And this same plan is being called Agenda 2030 now. Sustainable development, Sustainable development, Pretty much same agenda, same plan. If you go into the PDF, it actually says sustainable, and it's like a sustainable development on it. It's the same people pretty much too, And let's go down to this part right here, because this is what I wanted to read. So the declaration, introduction. This is an agenda of unprecedented scope and significance. It is accepted by all countries and is applicable to all, taking into account different national realities, capacities, and levels of development, and respecting national policies and priorities. These are universal goals and targets in which involve the entire world. Well, if that isn't, the beast system and the NWO being set up before your face, what is? Let's keep it going. Developing countries alike. They are integrated and indivisible and balance the 3 dimensions of sustainable development. There goes that word again. There goes that phrase, sustainable development. Let's go into the Davos agenda. This is Slovakia. Word is tongue-tying me right now. The Sustainable Development Agenda. And it goes into every single point, bullet point, which is all deception. All these bullet points on the right, these 17 goals, all of them are diabolical when you actually read into what the details of these plans are and how they plan on doing it. It's freaking evil, man. Don't be fooled by the colors and the graphics, man. These people are the same people, who are, stealing all the money, man. Hiding in big fortresses, and plan on hiding in big fortresses, via submarines, and everything else when that nuclear destruction hits, man. So let's read this. This is the Davos agenda. This how a lot of these plans have agenda in them. Well, that's basically their way of saying it's the same thing, you know, headed by the same powers that be, and putting it right in your face, you know. So let's read this right here. The Davos Agenda is a pioneering mobilization of global leaders to shape the principles, policies, and partnerships needed in this challenging new context. It is essential for leaders of all walks of life to work together virtually for one inclusive, cohesive, and sustainable future as soon as possible in 2021. So this is what they're doing. The speakers, the Davos Agenda brings together the world's top academics, politicians, business, youth, and civil society leaders to engage in addressing the most pressing issues of the global agenda. And I believe Bill Gates made a cameo there, but you also had, you know, the president of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, you know, Edom. The president of France, Edom. You got Ammon over here, you know, Japheth, Ammon, Japheth, either or. The prime minister of Singapore, Lee Hsien Loong. Then you got Moab right here. You know, they look sort of different, but they look sort of the same. You know, Mr. Miyagi looking Ammonites. Then you got, you know, your Jet Li looking Moabites. Xi Jinping, president of the People's Republic of China. Then you got Ham right here, you know. Get on Hammy Ham. Edom. Esau, Shesaw. Secretary General, United Nations, the UN. The central bankers right here, you know. The people who are really running the show. And then they have a broad, you know, as the front woman for this. The International Monetary Fund, International Monetary Fraud, you know, people over here. Then you got Elam, you know. And this is Psalms 83, pretty much. Because, you know, the people who they plan on coming after is the children of Israel, man, you know. And this is a global agenda to, you know, implement their global system, you know, one world government, one world currency system, you know, a technocracy, you know, where everybody's on that grid that the Ice Age farmer was talking about, you know, the 3-minute mark of his video. And pretty much that's all I wanted to cover with that. Wanted to bring, you know, light on the situation that these people are still pushing this, man, you know, and you're going to see a lot more draconian measures being taken, you know, them locking down cities and this and that and this and that, wanting to force the Kool-Aid cup in your face and have you drink 2 cups of Kool-Aid. And if you don't have those cups of Kool-Aid or the receipts that you drank the Kool-Aid, you can't go in any store, you know, business, you know, so on and so forth. If you catch what I'm throwing out in the air, you catch it. If you don't, then you may need to watch a few more videos on this channel, you know, to catch that. You know, the Kool-Aid, the juice, the Jim Jones juice. For those that have been watching, you know what's going on. But them implementing the charagma, you know, the charagma, the prophesied thing, you know, the big thing. You got the little thing and the big thing. The little thing is what they're advertising on television right now via their magites and sorcerers, their mediums that are hypnotizing the public into, you know, believing the little thing. And then they're going to promote the big thing, you know, via the miracles, you know, heal the blind, you know, cure your sight, so on and so forth, detect certain, I don't want to say that word, detect certain things in your body, you know, that are advertised on television that are, you know, making people scared, and wear facial protection, put it like that. If you can pick up what I'm putting down, catch what I'm throwing out, good. If not, hey, maybe want to rewind a few weeks back, you know, and then watch a couple videos, and then you'll sort of catch up on the lingo. But due to YouTube guidelines, we have to talk like that, you know, because we can't say what we want to say outright, you know. You get your video snatched down, you know, within hours of releasing it, you know. So enough rambling. Just wanted to cover what's going on with the pretty much strategical planned famine that they plan on implementing through the whole planet, you know, and that's by telling people what they can't eat, farm, own, you know, consume, better yet, you know, forced sanctions on farmers, you know, them actually killing off livestock. If you go into this this guy's channel right here, he just did a video on how Oregon is working on a bill to ban livestock, man, you know? And if these people ain't the devil, then who is, man? Who would ban livestock? Who's looking to basically abolish all forms of lawful meats, man? You know, chicken, which is a lawful meat to eat. You know, it's not an abomination like pork, you know. Beef, it's a lawful meat to eat, you know. Lamb, a lawful meat to eat, you know. I mean, just completely diabolical and evil, man, you know. And that's why these people will be arrested, man, you know. When the elect get spiritual power, man, they're going to bind these people with chains, man, you know. And that's an honor to be able to partake in that, man. You know, and Ahdawan Rataza, we're of that number, man. Because, you know, just me speaking as a man, this irks me, man. You know, to see these people doing this, but at the same time, on the other side of the coin, it also excites me that, you know, we're one step closer, you know, and these things have to happen. You know, that's the conditions of the battle. You know, it's just like when you see your people get gunned down. You know, it frustrates you, but at the same time, you know, these things have to happen because that's a part of prophecy. That's judgment, man. So let's jump into the scriptures. Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And right now, these people are coming down with great wrath, you know. On a short-ended stick, they're pretty soon they're gonna go hard body, man, and come out with that sword, man, you know, via their military, you know, via FEMA, the National Guard, and via just waging war on the tribes, man, and then waging war on everybody else who doesn't want to be down with the get down, man. You know, you don't want to be down with the get down, you're going to be put down, you know, and that's what we're going to need protection, you know, via Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man, you know, and Ahdawan Rataza, you know, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai places protection and election on your household, man, because we're going to need that, you know. We're not going to be delivered by the strength of our own hands. We're going to be delivered based on faith, you know, and based on obedience, you know, and based on predestination, you know. So I'm going to read this again, Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, Esau, Edom, is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And these people know that they have a short time, man. They see the prophets of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua in the streets, you know, calling out every single move that they're going to make on the chessboard, 2 moves ahead, you know. They're getting frustrating. I mean, they're getting frustrated. They're so frustrated that they took down RT News YouTube page, man. You know, not page, but they took down a few of their videos, man, in Germany and the United States, man. You know, and that's them causing their own tongue to stumble upon themselves, man, you know, roughly paraphrasing, man. And it's a beautiful sight to see. It's beautiful, man. Beautiful artwork, you know. Beautiful screenplay Yahweh Bashim Yahshai has written. I'm going to read this. So this is Job 5:12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. And these people, they won't be able to perform their enterprise, man, which is their beast system, you know, which is their NWO. You know, they're not going to be able to perform that in its perfection, you know. They're going to get disappointed, man, you know, and rightfully so. So I'm going to read this again. Job 5:12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands can not perform their enterprise, which is their NWO, man, you know, which is their beast system, you know, everybody on a grid, the technocracy, man, you know. Yahweh Bashim Yahshai is going to disappoint that, man, you know, all those machines, you know, the 5G towers, it's all going to be blown up, man, and destroyed, you know, by the elect with their spiritual powers, man, you know, and rightfully so, man. Job 5:19 through 22. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. I'm gonna read this again, Slack. I got a little excited. Job 5:19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. Job 5:20. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. And that's why we're going to need, you know, protection from Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, man, you know, because he's the only way you're going to be able to be redeemed from death, you know, and be protected from the famine, man, because he is the one, he is the one bringing the plagues, man. Yahweh Bashim Yahshai sent the plagues, man. You know, the Almighty Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahshai sent the plagues, man. And who is he that can drive them away, man? Nobody, man. You're going to have protection from high, protection from Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, man. You know? Job 5:21. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. Job 5:22. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. You know, and these other nations are brute beasts, man. Starting with Esau, Edom. You know, we're not going to be afraid of them. You know, Ahdawan Rataza were those men, you know. And at destruction and famine thou shalt laugh. You know, that's a heavy spirit that's going to be have to be on you, you know, to laugh at destruction and famine, man. You know, because, you know, you have that protection, you know, from on high, man. You know, and that you are protected from the perils, man. You know, that's a heavy spirit that Yahweh Bashim Yahshai is going to put on his men, you know, to be able to do this, man. You know, because we're going to see some things that's going to rock our cages, man. You know. You know. And it's all starting right now. This is a sign, you know, that those times are coming, man. And rightfully so. You know, this place is bathed in wickedness, man, in the wine of Esau, Edom, man. You see trannies running around being exalted. What's this dude? This transformer wants to run for governor of California, man. Caitlyn Jenner, or whatever the fuck this transformer's name is, man. And people are actually going to vote for this freaking, just, I don't even know what to call that, man. They're going to vote for it, you know? And that's just shows you what type of society we live in, man, you know? That everything is turned upside down, man. You know, thou shalt surely turn things upside down, man. Isaiah 29:16, I believe, man. You know? I believe it is Isaiah 29:16, you know? And Esau, Edom has turned everything upside down, man. trying to outlaw beef, basically, you know, one burger a month, blocking out the sun. I mean, you know, you got to have a Kool-Aid receipt, you know, to go to the grocery store pretty soon, you know, a receipt that you drank in the Kool-Aid, you know, to fly, to go on the Norwegian cruise line. You need it. I mean, this is what type of society we live in, man. And a lot of people want to continue in this wicked, forsaken place, man. You know, and that's what we tell our people to repent, you know, and, you know, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, man. You know, we're not supposed to put our marbles into this place, man, because this place is a burning house, man. This place is the Titanic, a sinking ship, you know. 2nd Ezra 16:8. The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? Yahweh Bashim Yahshai is the one that's plaguing this place, man. And rightfully so. For the evil that has been done, you know, in this land, and is being perpetuated throughout the whole world, everybody following the vibration of Babylon, and for the atrocities that have been done to the children of the Heavenly Father, man. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Seminole Indians, man. You know, that's why Yahweh Bashim Yahshai is plaguing the shit out of Babylon and out of the whole world as well, you know. But primarily Babylon, man, because the whole world, you know, is going to get judged, you know, via Yahweh Shai, you know, Yahweh Bashim Yahshai. But Babylon has a specific judgment, man, and that's thermonuclear fire and nuclear destruction, man, you know. And the whole world follows after the vibration of Babylon, man, you know. The great whore, man. 2nd Ezra 15:5. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. And Yahweh Bashim Yahshai is plaguing this place, rightfully so, man. You know, he's the one that is bringing the plagues, you know, the mighty Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshai sent the plagues. The mighty Lord sent the plagues. Who is he that can drive them away? You know, nobody, you know. It's a fearful thing. It's a, you know, to fall into the hands of the Lord, man, you know. Because there's no saving you. You know, once Yahweh Bashim Yahshai has your number and he's, you know, pretty much ready to call it, you know, there's nothing that can stop that, man. You know, that hit has been sanctioned, you know. 2nd Ezra 15:5. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction, which are coming to Babylon, man. You know, but it's going to come on the whole world as well, you know, because these people plan to reduce, you know, the world's, you know, people count, man, you know, put it like that. One diabolical plan at a time, man. Oh yeah, skipped a couple of them. Let's keep it going. So this is Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, as the rivers of water, he turneth it whatsoever he will. And the king's heart, you know, the ruler's heart, you know, their mind is in the hand of Yahweh Bashim Yahshai. He's putting the spirit on Esau, Edom, to reveal himself, man, you know, and to do and implement this diabolical agenda and diabolical plan, man, so he can destroy him, man, you know. So this scripture right here can jump off the page, you know, in a few months, man, you know. I believe through the spirit in a few months. It may be a little longer than that, maybe a little shorter than that, but, you know, me speaking as a man, you know, through the spirit and power, how about you? Well, me speaking as a man, better yet, I believe this is going to happen, you know, in this coming year. Put it like that, you know, because what we're seeing right now and the amount of prophecies that are being fulfilled, you know, at a rapid rate, like clockwork, it's only a matter of time, man, you know, and eventually, you know, you're going to see this man go hard body, man. And we're hoping it happens tomorrow, man. You know, the true and sincere. Bring it on, man. You know, we want to get out of here next week. You know, Ahdawan Rataza. So 2 Ezra 15-19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, you know, the gun, any type of weapon, you know, that they can get their hands on, better yet, because people are going to be starving, man. You know, they're going to plan to starve out, you know, the ones that, you know, pretty much they can't control, you know, and to bring people into submission, they're going to plan to starve people out. You know, it's a war tactic called blockade and siege. 2 Ezra 15-19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And this is all the starting birth pains of it right now, man. You know, little dude starved out, mom just through, you know, running to, you know, the Magites and sorcerers for help. Who knows if that's a needle going in his arm, you know, whatever, you know. It's going to get bad out here, man. So Jeremiah 30:7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And who's that he? The elect, you know. That's who's going to be saved out of Jacob's trouble. Everybody else, besides the, you know, spoils of war, you know, the heathen that are going to survive, you know, on the other side, out of Babylon, you know, everything in Babylon is going to burn up. But the people who are left in those other lands, you know, there's going to be some spoils left over, you know, and you know, the elect shall be saved up out of Jacob's trouble, man. Revelation 3:10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And this is a promise that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai made to the elect, man. You know, that he will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which is Jacob's trouble, man. You're going to have a decision to make. Are you going to be down, you know, with these guys? Are you going to be down with Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai? Are you going to get down for your crown? Or are you going to lay down, you know, for, you know, temporary safety, you know, and temporary livelihood in a burning house? It's going to be burnt up anyway, man. You know, you're going to have that decision to make. You're going to, you know, and you're going to be faced with that ultimatum. You know, that's why they call it the hour of temptation. And clock is ticking. You know, we're in game time right now, better yet. You know, the beginning stages of what they're looking at planning to do is being implemented right in front of your face. And if you don't have the eyesight to see it, then probably wasn't meant for you to get in the first place. Let's keep it going. So one of the, benefits, you know, besides, you know, the kingdom, you know, everlasting dominion, rulership, you know, so on and so forth, you know, potential planet ownership, city ownership, you know, hundreds of wives potentially, you know, that Akim are going to get in the kingdom, you know. On top of all that, you know, there's certain spirits, you know, who are going to be saved, you know, via election, you know, and certain men are going to get spiritual power, you know, before that actually happens, you know, because the scriptures say when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him, man. And part of that glory, you know, better yet, and that honor and privilege is the privilege and the honor and the glory of arresting these guys, man. You know, all these heathen. Psalms 83. The tabernacles of Edom, man. You know, Ishmael, Moab, well, Ishmael ain't on there, but Ishmael, Moab, and Ammon, you know, the Hamites, you know, where's Amalek? Amalek. I'm just gonna name the nations. Amalek, you know, Tyre, so on and so forth, man. You know, being able to bind kings and nobles, man. You know, with chains and fetters of iron, man. So let's get that. Let's wrap it on up. Revelation. And the water for anybody that tuned in, you know, Lord's will, you got edified out of this long-winded lesson, but Lord's will, it was edifying, comforting as well. But wrap it on up the next minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, Lord's will, if the Spirit allows. Psalms 149, 6 through 9. Let the high praises of the Most High. Oh, goodness. So let's start all over again. Psalms 149, 6 through 9. Slakia for getting a little excited. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, with a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And it's going to be an honor, you know. Ahdawan Rataza, you know, we're those men, of course, to be able to execute, you know, this, you know, to be able to execute upon them the judgment written, man, you know, to bind kings with chains, these, you know, people upon horses, you know. Now, I've seen servants upon horses and kings, you know, walking as servants upon the earth, roughly paraphrasing the book of Ecclesiastes 10 and 7, you know. This is going to be an honor, man, to bind these people with chains, arrest them, you know, the Edomites, you know, and the rest of the heathen, the spoils of war, you know, who are going to be hidden in those other lands, you know, and to, you know, take ownership of them, man, you know, and have them, you know, out in the field, man, with taskmasters, you know, specifically the Edomites, you know, and having Ham being a taskmaster over Edom, man, you know, having Japhet go watch Edom, make sure they're staying in order, man, make sure they're not trying to, you know, roast no pig back there, man, you know, because they're going to be under the curses, man. They're going to be trying to, you know, keep the law, man. You know, we're going to have to be beating the shit out of them, man, to keep them in order, man. Last precepts, better yet. So this is Revelation 6, 15 through 17. Yeah, want to make sure, yeah, that's the one. So this is Revelation 6, 15 through 17. And the kings of the earth and the great men and the rich men and the chief captains and the mighty men and every bondman and every freeman hid themselves in the dens of the rocks of the mountains, which is what these type of people are going to be looking to do. You know, these type of people. And then you're going to have your elite banking families and their constituents trying to hide themselves as well. Bill Gates, Elon Musk, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the Oppenheimers, you know, so on and so forth. You know, they're going to be doing the same thing as well, you know, over there in those other lands that are outside of Babylon, because, you know, they believe the report on the left-hand side. You know, they know that these prophecies are coming to pass, you know, and that's why they're implementing their plans, taking down YouTube videos, channels, so on and so forth, implementing all these draconian measures, because they know it, that they have but a short time, man, and that these scriptures are faithful and true. You know, every single one of these prophecies is going to hit, you know, hit hard, like Mike Tyson in the 80s, man. Revelation 6:16. And say it to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, Yahushua, and from the wrath of the Lamb, for the day, for that great day, it's like it, for the great day of his wrath has come, and who shall be able to stand? I'm gonna read this again. It's like I got a little excited. Revelation 6:17. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to hide, to stand? It's like it. I'm gonna read it again. It's a little late over here. It's like it. Revelation 6:17. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? So I'm gonna slack it for, you know, fumbling at the end a little bit, but you know, it's a little late over here. But Lord's will, you were edified by this lesson. I'd like to close on out, give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem Achak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles of Israel, aka the head apostles of Great Millstone, who do rule well and teach well with sound doctrine. Shalawam to the elders and the elder bishops of Great Millstone as well. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings to all the sincere Akim and Akwath who subscribe to this truth. A hearty shalom to the men out there in the highways and byways, highways and hedges, preaching and teaching of truth and sincerity, risking their lives and risking their freedom, now more so than ever, especially in these times, to bring it out, making their bodies a living sacrifice. And last but not least, a hearty shalom to the men of Valor Camp, New Jersey, NYC, first camp I ever heard the truth from, Isaiah 62, verses 6-7. Those that make mention of the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshai, keep not silence, give him no rest day or night. To Jerusalem is the praise and all the earth. So once again, Lord's will, you were edified by this lesson. Slack it for the fumbles at the end. It's a little late over here. You know, it's about midnight or so. But, you know, besides the fact, Lord's will, you were edified by this lesson. And until next time, Lord's will, you know, Shalawam. And DTA, Abab Abal. So